Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Go with My Central Toy Review. And today's toy review, we're looking at the 2010 release by Mattel of the DCUC Classics action figure review. And today's action figure review, we're looking at the Walmart exclusive of the DC Comics celebrating the 75 years of superpower of the Green Lanterns Light 5-pack that consists of Hal Jordan, Tomari, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, and Sinestro. Now, this 5-pack never and do not exist in Malaysia at all. However, I managed to gotten this thanks to A269 aka Richard. Check his link down below. He does really awesome toy reviews on a lot of variety of toys itself. And I got this from him, who shipped this from the US all the way to Malaysia as a gift to me here. And this is a very awesome gift because this is a Walmart exclusive DCUC Classic 5-pack, and this never actually exists in this country at all. We do have certain toy shops that actually focus on selling DCUC Classics, but they never stocked in anything that is actually exclusive to certain malls like Walmart, Target, or Ross. And from what I hear, this Green Lantern Lights 5-pack actually is being sold in the US, Walmart US, at a currency of $25 or maybe even less than that, I'm not too sure. But it's a really good deal of a bargain because in Malaysia, each of this figure here, retail price is 79.90 ringgit. Yes, 79 ringgit and 90 cents. And certain toy shops, usually scalper shops, they would scalp it to 99 ringgit and 90 cents. Yes, and sometimes it wouldn't go up as high as 100 ringgit as well, so it's rather pricey. Now, today's video is a part 1 video, so we'll be focusing on Hal Jordan there. But first, let's take a look at the packaging. You'll notice the background packaging, there's not a lot of artwork, it's just strokes of green lighting effects to show the Green Lantern lights itself, as you can see there. Nothing special on the background of the image, but the side of the packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I really love the artwork being displayed with all the characters being released in the DCUC Classics line. Well, at least some of them. Also on the other side as well, as you can see there. Very nicely done. Now at the back there, we will only focus on Hal Jordan, but this section here is a Green Lantern oath stated: in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evils might beware my power. Green Lantern's light. Very nice. And this section here, you got a nice little image of Hal Jordan, as you can see there, and the first issue of Green Lantern. Very nicely done. Of course, I doubt that this 5-pack actually has the comic itself, or 5 comics, as you can see there, but it just showcases the character itself. And there, in his little biography, as you can see there, stated: while training in a flight simulator test pilot, Hal Jordan was suddenly transported to the crash site of an alien spacecraft. The injured pilot passed on to Jordan his green ring and uniform. Sorry about that. The ring allowed him to make real anything that he would imagine, from flying unaided through space to lifting mountains. With it, Jordan, chosen by the ring itself because of his fearlessness, must fight evil as a member of the Green Lantern Corps. Very nicely done, and I really love this. So, without further ado, let's open up Hal Jordan out from the packaging so we can molest him. Be right back. And we're back of the ring figure and the rest of the stuff out from packaging. Now let's take a look at the figure's accessory here. The lantern. This is the only accessory for the Green Lantern's Light 5-pack. You will imagine that the size of this packaging itself, they will at least thrown in each of the figures with a green construct. But no, they pack in with the 5 figures, and each of the figures have a lantern, but with all the amount of space for the packaging inside, they won't even bother to put in the green construct, which is rather disappointing because this is a Green Lantern 5-pack and all these characters are, well, from the Green Lantern Corps, and the abilities to project a green construct is, well, their signature move. Not giving them the green construct is like having Superman without a cape, or Batman without his utility belt or batarangs, if you know what I mean. So it's rather disappointing to find out that there's no green construct. Not to say that the lantern is a bad thing, it's a nice accessory, and you can see the paint job is actually very nice. It looks very metallic. Yes, the handle can turn 360 degrees, there's a bit of articulation there. The sculpt is very nicely done, and the best part about the sculpt is that, like most of the DC Universe Classics accessories, they tend to imprint the word made in China, the word China, rather big fonts, and rather they put it in a very out of place areas. That's when the first thing that you will notice and you will see the word China. But for this lantern itself, they place it at this section here. You aren't able to see it properly because there's too much shadows and the fonts are rather small. So it's hidden at the bottom section here, which is very nicely done, because, well, at least I'm glad they didn't put it on, well, on the side here or on a flat top there, but rather hiding on the corner here. This is a very nicely done, very nicely done. And of course, for Hal Jordan to hold the lantern is only onto the left hand. As you can see, the gripping hand there, and all you have to do is just stuff it in like so. It's a bit loose, as you can see there, but still alright. He can still hold it with no problems. Nice accessory, but I really wish for a green construct, really do. Now for the figure's paint job, now the paint job is okay, it's just average. I'm disappointed that the face itself, the flesh tone skin, is not painted at all. It's just pure plastic, but the hair is all painted, which is very nicely done with all the shading on the hair. Very nice. It's dark brown with a lot of shading going on. On the side there is all grayed up. I really wish they put more shading on the side of the gray. It looks rather, well, artificial. Mask is painted, of course. Eyes are painted in white, but the entire face there, the flesh tone skin, there's no shading at all, so it looks rather, well, plasticky. And the entire body, only some parts are painted, some parts are not, because they wanted to, you know, save the cost on the paint job. The ring is painted, nicely done, a little bit metallic. The white gloves are painted. The upper bicep, of course, is not painted. So does the shoulders here, except for the bottom section. The bottom section here is painted. The ribs is painted, of course. Now for the logo is a little bit off center. If you see it closely, just a little bit off center, but it's still okay. It's not too bad. Nothing on the back. Now the tie here, the lower tie here is of course painted in black. Knees is not, but the lower shin here is painted in green, and the feet is not, and there's a little bit storm there, as you can see in the number. And that's all the paint job there is for this figure. And there are some little bit of problem with the paint job. Well, actually, scratches, a little bit of scratches there on the knuckles as well, but it's still alright. For the figure's sculpt, there's nothing new on the sculpt. The whole entire body is a typical DC Universe Classics male body, so there's no significant change there. There's no add-on. The only difference is, well, you know, got the ring hand, as you can see there, and the head sculpt. Now, the head sculpt is very nicely done with the hair itself. The face looks dead on serious for Hal Jordan. Really love this. Very nicely done with the head sculpt. But other than that, the figure is nothing that special. He has a typical male body and has, well, a ring hand and a really nice head sculpt. But other than that, the body looks meh. So let's take a look at the figure's articulation. Now the neck joint is quite interesting. You can actually pivot the head a little bit higher if you want to do a flight pose like so. It's a little bit higher. You can look down a little bit, straight, turn 360 degrees. Torso here can pivot downwards, back, waist joint here, turn 360 degrees, shoulders here, turn 360 degrees, goes all the way in like so, or all the way in like so. Very nicely done. Spread the arms this far, upper bicep turn 360 degrees, elbow joint here bend this far, wrist joint here turn 360 degrees, hip joints here go forward, back a little bit, go to the sides, lower thigh here has a swivel that turns 360 degrees, knee joint that bend this far, and ankle joint that pivot downwards and upwards, and that's about it. Overall, the figure is not bad. It's just, well, rather plain looking and rather cheap looking as well, because as you can see, some of the excess plastic is not properly cut onto the sides here, some scratches, some paint job is not applied onto the flesh tone skin, and of course lacking of the green construct. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, he is actually not bad. He's not bad, he's just, well, a little bit of tweak here, a little bit of tweak there, and add on a green construct would make this figure really good. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, I say I would just give him a 6 out of 10. He still looks great, he's just not really perfect, as you know. Some parts are not really well done, like on the excess plastic there, some parts are not painted. Having no green construct is no fun at all. So 6 out of 10 for Hal Jordan. I thank you all for watching. This is the DCUC 5 and I'm signing off.